Now what you see there is something called 5.7 per thousand. What is that? That's their detainee capacity per thousand population. They can detain in their county jail in Columbus 5.7 persons for every 1,000 of population. Mobile, Georgia, 2.8. Mobile has been picked as one of the worst jail prison operations in the United States. And Pew Trust has been invited to come in and study there. They house a lot of their female prisoners, not jail detainees, prisoners in Louisiana. Shreveport, Caddo Parish, 5.2 detainees. Pulaski County, 2.4 per thousand. Notice the difference? Now, the Texas Commission on Jail Standards came into being in 1975 because they found that the counties were having to build more and more jails. And no one exactly knew what size jail should we build. So the state began modeling. I called them and said, would you run a model for us? And they said, no. Okay. I talked to the guy a little bit longer. Well, it turned out he graduated from the same university I did. So we worked something out. He cannot do that legally, okay? But we did work something out. Now, they use what I would call a historical computer simulation model, and they gather a lot of information. Past and projected population. What was your population 5 years ago? What's going to be your population 5 years in the future? What's the historical annual detainee population? What's the historical detainee peak population, because you have to be ready to take the surges, and the classification, medium, maximum security, ratio of men to women. You don't have co-ed in the jail. Okay. We did those calculations, and Chief Morgan was very patient as I would email him. I said, I need this data now, I need this data now. Couldn't always come up with the data because, frankly, their older databases the data's not always there. And what that model predicts is that right today, 2003, not 2000, 2003, we should have had 1440. A jail housing 1440. And in 225, it'd be 1536. And why is that so slow a growth? We're not growing. Our county is not growing really much. Now we looked at maintenance costs. These are maintenance costs at various jails. Look, you know, when a guy like me phones, the Freedom of Information Act in Arkansas doesn't hold any weight in Oklahoma. And sheriffs are very reluctant to give you data. And I'm very appreciative that the sheriff got this data for us. And what you see here is we're about what other jails or less cost per day. They feed all of the detainees out there for $3.09 a day. $1.03 a meal. And think about that. That's punishment. $1.03 a meal. Now, who's responsible for the jail? Oops, did I leave that out? Yeah, I did. Who's responsible? The Arkansas Constitution makes it quite clear, and I've got it here, it's in the report. A county government acting through the quorum court shall provide through ordinance for the following services for its citizens: the administration of justice through the several courts, law enforcement protection services, and custody of persons accused of crime. It's that simple. Now, we make 16 recommendations. I'm not going to go through all of those. They're in the books that you can pick up. We're recommending that they require the controller, in cooperation with the treasurer, to develop the annual revenue projections solely on the revenue realized in the previous 12 months. They're doing that now, and I'm very appreciative. As we begin to develop these, I talked to people and told them we were going to make this recommendation. They're doing that now. This is a good thing. They used to make projections based on what the budget was the previous year. The budget's not related to revenue at all. And that leads to a serious overprojection. I'm out of time, I'm told. This says the annual budget should be based on the revenue projection related to the revenue realized in the previous year. Tie the budget to the projection. And get, within 3 years, get within the law that says you can only budget 90%. And I think the mind of the Quorum Court is to try to do that. We firmly believe that the county should contract immediately with a private auditing firm to conduct a formal financial audit of the county finances beginning in 2006. Now, it's going to be easy to say, well, it isn't in the Constitution, but the Constitution doesn't deny it. And it's going to be said, we don't have the money. The county, and for this they need to be thanked, should finish the year $1 million in black. They have the money. City of Little Rock does it. City of North Little Rock does it. You know that historically this university spent more than it brought in for 7 out of 10 years. The state auditors never picked it up. Now, this one bothers me most. The 2006 estimated population came out last week for Pulaski County and for the various cities. So I had the Census Data Center make some quick calculations. As America continues to urbanize, the population in the unincorporated area drops, the population in the communities, even if they don't annex, grows. And that means that the percentage of sales use tax revenue that a county gets goes down. Now, the bad news for the sheriff is your area doesn't change appreciably at all, but the population you serve goes down. If this holds true, the county may lose 6% again of its sales and use tax revenue in 2010. Therefore, and this is the time to do it, contract with a nationally recognized firm to conduct an audit of county personnel and functions in order to make recommendations where it may be possible to save money and how the services of the county might be better organized. This is sometimes called a desktop audit. So they come in and look at what each employee does and then make recommendations back as to where you can combine things or perhaps even eliminate. Not good news. The time to do that is before the next crisis hits. I hope I'm wrong, but demographics don't lie. I don't know if Mr. Bryan's there. I put your title on here. I didn't know where else to put it. The circuit court as a whole needs to appoint a committee, and I would put on their county clerk, the district prosecuting attorney, the sheriff or his designee, others, to consider what steps might be made to making the system more efficient, including the current mode of transportation of detainees, the more full use of closed circuit TV, certainly for first arraignment hearings, and the possible construction of a secure courtroom at the jail with the appointment of a magistrate. Let me say what that's about. If you go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, their county jail is right downtown, and their court is here, and there's a bridge across. Doesn't take a lot of trouble to get the prisoners or the detainees over there. If you go to Boulder County, they have a courtroom at the jail, and they save a great deal of money. What we see, anytime you go downtown, you're going to see white school buses and vans as they transport prisoners back and forth and back and forth. That's a very vulnerable place. That's where jail personnel can get in harm. That's where jailbreaks may be attempted, and you know in the last couple of years, you've seen that.